Beautiful day here in Virginia, as you can see. Taking a break from some winter house projects to talk about some winter car projects. I realize it's been like 4 months or so. I know 2 videos in the same week is pretty awesome. But I've done some stuff with the M3, both track day wise and modification wise since the last time we talked. So I wanted to get you up to speed on that, talk about winter projects for the M3, and then talk about kind of like what the plan is for this season of track days and stuff. All right, so track project M3 still running good. I had, I think, 2 track days that I didn't document since the last time we talked. One was in November, which was super cold, and one was October maybe, I don't remember. But the October one, I had a valve cover leak. Basically the bottom side of my valve cover here was spewing out oil, basically only at high RPM, like once everything got warm. So I didn't figure that out. I figured it out at the last track day. I didn't know why it was happening or what the deal was, but I removed basically this whatever this is called, the washer fluid thing. I pulled all this out because I thought this might be leaking because there was like tons of oil down in that general area. Pulled this out. So to put this back in, I put in a new pump for this because I broke it trying to get this little cord or hose off here. But as you can see, we ended up going with a brand new valve cover. Not the cheapest option, but this year the S50 has a metal valve cover. So sometimes the underneath of it, underneath where like it actually seals to the head, all this area, can start flaking, and it does it sometimes with age, does it sometimes with heat. So we'll get to the heat thing in a minute here, but we decided mine was all flaked, which is why it wasn't sealing. So we decided just to put a new valve cover on. So obviously super nice looking, paint's all fresh. I don't know if you remember the old one. I could put a picture in. The old one was all like flaky and nasty. So that by itself looks awesome. Same plastic covers and everything, but the valve cover itself obviously looks way nicer. No more leak. Second track day had no leaks. The other thing I was going to talk about was the cooling system. So you remember one of the track days I documented last year was like super hot outside. It was like 95 degrees and we were running the car, not super hard, but hard enough. It's a track day. And I was getting a little bit of temperature spike. I'm not positive if it was just being super hot, but when I drove the car home and the next time I drove it, the temperature spiked. It went like super high, which I think is what killed the valve cover. It either warped it or wrecked the paint on it. So what it happened to be was the aux fan. I have an electric fan on here. I don't have the, it's kind of hard to see, but I took the clutched fan off. I've got an electric SPAL fan. The fuse blew. And from what I've heard, that typically happens when the fans starting to go out. So I got a few mods in the basement that we'll talk about, but we're going to be basically redoing some of this cooling system. We're going to be replacing the, whatever this is called, overflow tank. We're going to be replacing the overflow tank, we're going to be replacing the fan, and we're going to be doing a Stewart water pump. One more project that I really wanted to do this winter was basically upgrade or redo the brake system. So these are actually my previous front rotors. You can see they're drilled and slotted. They're like a cheap set of rotors I got on like Rock Auto or something. They did fine. I don't think they were warped or anything, but I've heard that these cheap slotted and drilled rotors can crack. I just didn't want to have to deal with that. So I actually ended up, I already put them on the front. I put a set of Brembo rotors on the front, and I decided to go with Hawk pads. They're the Hawk HT10 like track pad. The pads I had on before were also some like performance upgrade from Rock Auto, not the best. I have not done the rear yet. The rear, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, is still the old school cheap rotors that like we have up there and the old pads. So I'm going to do that and document that. And I also need to rebuild the e-brake system. The e-brake on the back, basically when you pull it up it works, but I don't know if I would trust it to like actually slow me down in case of an emergency. Something noteworthy, if you look up there, that's a new set of meats, new set of tires for the M3. Those are Federal 595 RSRRs. So I bought those. Those were not sponsored or anything. I know a lot of YouTubers are getting that stuff sponsored, but I paid for those. Basically, I'm going to give them a shot. I've seen sort of mixed reviews on the internet. They're kind of new, but they're a 200 tread wear tire. They are cheap though. That's the difference here. Those are $100 a piece. So that whole set there was 400 bucks, 100 bucks a pop. The tires that are on this car are Dunlop Star Specs, or like the Dunlop Z2 Star Spec, and they're pretty close to toast. So these were on the car when I bought them, and you can actually see they were made in 2013. So these are coming up on 5-year-old tires. But I got, you know, my season out of them, and I think might run them the first track day just to kind of seal the deal on their longevity. And then I'll probably get the other ones mounted. But I'll definitely keep you guys posted on my opinions of those, because those are literally half the price of similar 200 tread wear track tires. So we'll see how those do. So my gimbal died. I apologize if the rest of the video is a little bit shaky, but I haven't used it in like 4 months, so the batteries are toast, obviously. This is one of my back room storage areas in my basement. I don't film in my house that often, but I wanted to show you the new parts. So first off, these are the rotors for the back. These are actually, like, they look pretty nice quality from Brembo. This is the rear set, obviously. Not a whole lot to say about them. They're just Brembo blanks. They should be, I got them on ECS tuning, but they're not too expensive. They're like $100 an axle-ish. These are the Hawk HT10s. I don't know if this is open. Yeah, it is. These are once again the rear pads. Pretty small actually, which is kind of funny. But these are the HT10 compound, which is like a racing track day setup. So we're gonna give those a shot. I know there's like a huge, you know, which pads you pick is like just as big as like which oil you pick to people. So I know it's like a huge argument on the internet, but I'm gonna go with these. These are kind of like, I don't know, medium cost and pretty good reviews. You can get some brake pads that are like literally like $400 an axle, which is a lot of money to go around. And I'm trying to, like, this isn't a budget build, but I'm trying to keep it at least cost in mind, like cost sensitive. So that's a rear brake setup. The parking brake stuff is in the garage, but that's not very interesting. This is our other fun stuff. So Stewart Racing water pump. This is I think I got it on Bimmer World, something like that, and it's like $160-ish, but it does have a lifetime warranty. It's supposed to be like higher flow. This is the one that everybody uses if you can afford it. And I put in a refurb unit in my car when I put it back together, and I don't know, I just always felt kind of like worried about when it's going to pop. So if I'm going to take the stuff out to do the fan and everything else, I might as well do that. This is the new expansion tank, all aluminum expansion tank from Mishimoto. So this is the all aluminum Mishimoto expansion tank. So this is going to replace the plastic one. Hopefully just, you know, add a little bit more longevity. I've seen mixed reviews on this too, but I'll definitely let you guys know how that is. This, I'm not going to get it out. This is actually the Mishimoto fan shroud and electric fan. So the fan's a little bit bigger than the SPAL fan I have on there. And the SPAL fan is actually, I have like rigged up with like, it's not riveted on, but it's like bolted onto the radiator. And this should actually mount in the factory locations and have room for that and stuff too. So that's all the parts I got down here for my M3. I do have my old STI wheels and tires. This is the summer setup. 265 35 18s. These are 18 by 9.5. If anybody's interested, hit me up. This is something that I think we might go do right now. So when you're doing track day driving, a lot of times, I mean, all the time you have to have a helmet on, right? So a lot of times my helmet doesn't have, I don't have a dark visor for it, or I don't have sunglasses that can like kind of fit inside of there. My head is massive. So I did leave the sun visors in my car, but they can be kind of annoying to remember or to use and just kind of like in the way. So something that I've seen a lot of track people do is put a sun strip, or it's kind of like a banner across the top of your windshield, but it's solid, like you can't see through it. And it's good because it's, it's track driving, it's always there. It's just kind of like, it's kind of the trendy thing to have right now on the street, but it's actually useful on the track, especially in the late season. So like November, October, when the sun sets pretty early. Track days still go from, you know, till like 4 or 5 p.m. The sun starts setting. If you don't have your sunglasses on, the sun's like right in your eyes. So I'm gonna try it out. This is like an old BMW throwback motorsport one. Should look cool. Let's go try to put it on. All right, there she is. I think overall it turned out pretty good. There's a couple tiny edge imperfections, just because I'm not great with the razor blade, but there's no major bubbles or bubbles really at all in the actual laydown of this part. There's just a couple spots like right here where I didn't cut. Got a little like chunk out of it, didn't cut properly. But yeah, overall looks pretty good. I had to go a little bit below that little line I pointed out earlier to be able to fit the BMW and the M. They're like bigger. I had to be able to get that on the windshield. But from the inside, really it doesn't go much further past where the visor would go. So I'm hoping Virginia doesn't give me any crap for that. So yeah, overall successful. I'll get some better shots out in the sun whenever the weather decides to cooperate. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. All right, not a huge project, but a project nonetheless, checked off the list. I didn't have a whole lot of time to do like rip the cooling system apart or rip the brakes apart today. So that's what we got. Hopefully you're caught up to speed on kind of like the state of the M3 and the mods that are coming. My goal for this season is to get out on the track as much as possible. I have 3 track days scheduled already. Basically March is the earliest one. I think it's March 16th. And then it's either April or May and then early June. So yeah, I got 3 track days scheduled. I'm definitely gonna do some more. I'm on the hunt for a trailer. I basically want an open car, 16 to 18 foot trailer, hopefully with a dovetail and slide in ramps. So I'm on the hunt for one of those. And yeah, I mean, basically that's it. If you guys are interested in which track days I'm going to, hit me up, I'll tell you if you're in the area. Basically Summit Point is probably gonna be most of my track days, but I really wanna make it to VIR this year. That's a goal of mine. Probably gonna try to make it back to Dominion, and then, I don't know, maybe set a goal to make some other track, but VIR is kind of my long distance track goal. It's like 5 to 6 hours from my house, so definitely will need my trailer before then. But thank you. I just want to say like a quick thanks for the support on my last video. I know that the truck was a departure from the STI stuff that a lot of people were used to, but I saw like a ton of people, very encouraging comments, you know, in the same state of life I'm in, completely understand it. It wasn't because I needed, you know, the STI money, etc. The truck honestly is a more expensive vehicle than the STI was as far as MSRP goes. But I did want to say that I saw a few people bashing on, you know, getting married and having kids, and you know, it was definitely not the majority. But I think it's interesting that people look at the fact that I sold my STI, bought a truck, still have a track project, plan to buy a trailer, and get out and race my car at the track probably more times than those people ever have, and they're the ones bashing on the fact that I'm married. I love my kids, I love my wife, I love these vehicles, but family does come first. The fact that I can have a great family, great kids, still be able to afford a track vehicle and get out there and do what I love is pretty awesome. So appreciate all the support from everybody who was super positive in the last video. Definitely appreciate it. I'll be back. More M3 stuff coming. You saw all the parts in the basement. I'm gonna do an overview on the truck soon, but like I said, it's just super rainy. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye-bye.